Anyone can write code that works. The real test is what you do when it doesn't. Debugging is where good engineers separate from great ones, and the great ones aren't guessing, they're running a method. So here's how 6 of the most respected engineers alive, and one who no longer is, actually hunt down a bug. Not their code, their process. 6 habits you can steal today. John Carmack, the mind behind Doom and Quake, has one rule. Shrink the problem until it can't hide. Most of us stare at the whole system and hope. Carmack does the opposite. He strips everything away until he has the smallest case that still fails. Comment out half the code. Does the bug survive? Comment out half of what's left. In a few steps, a 10,000-line mystery becomes a 5-line fact. The bug didn't get smaller. Your search space did. You can't find a needle by staring at the haystack, so burn the haystack down to the needle. Linus Torvalds, who built Linux and Git, has famously little patience, especially for guessing. His instinct isn't to add print statements, it's to read the code, line by line, the way you'd read a proof. Logs tell you what happened. The code tells you why. When you guess, you change something, rerun, and pray. That's a slot machine. When you read, you build a model in your head until the bug becomes obvious. Slower for the first 30 seconds, far faster for the next 30 minutes. Understand what the code actually says, not what you assumed it says. Grace Hopper found the first computer bug, a literal moth stuck in a relay in 1947. She taped it into the logbook. The lesson outlived the moth. Go to the source and see it with your own eyes. A bug you can't reproduce is a rumor. Before you theorize, before you fix, make it happen on demand. Same input, same steps, same failure every time. Because if you can't trigger it, you can't know you fixed it. You only know it stopped happening while you were watching. A fix you can't verify is just a hope with a commit message. Margaret Hamilton wrote the code that landed Apollo on the moon, and she debugged problems before they could happen. Her priority scheduling design let the guidance computer drop low-priority work and survive an overload 3 minutes before touchdown. The habit: assume the impossible input will arrive, and decide now what the system does when it does. Most bugs live in the case you swore could never occur. Design for what should never happen, and half your future bugs never get written. Dan Abramov, who shaped modern React, debugs with one deceptively simple question. What did you expect and what actually happened? Name both precisely. The gap between them is the bug, and most of the time, just saying it out loud reveals it. It's the rubber duck, formalized. Expected the list sorted, got it reversed, expected 1 render, got 3. The moment the 2 sentences don't match, you've stopped guessing and started locating. James Gosling, the father of Java, leans on a quieter habit. Make the system tell you what it did. Every important boundary, every request in, every call out, logs its inputs and its result. Not a flood of prints you delete tomorrow, but a trace you can follow like footprints. When something breaks at 3 a.m., you don't guess the path the data took. You read it. Good logging is a letter you write to your future self on the worst night of the quarter. 6 engineers, 6 habits, and notice not one of them is about being smarter than the bug. Isolate, read, reproduce, anticipate, explain, trace. Debugging isn't a talent you're born with, it's a discipline you practice. The legends just stopped guessing sooner than everyone else. Pick one this week and actually use it. And if you want the next deep dive, subscribe and tell me which of the 6 you do worst.